Welcome back, guys. Excuse me, to the Crypto Kingdom. This is London. I want to check in. We've got a lot of questions today on should we buy in. We want to update a little bit on Harmony One, get that up and rolling. You guys have had a great day with Harmony One the last 24, 48 hours. You've been up about 50, 60, maybe 70%, depending on your buy-in. We're in a stagnation kind of sideways pattern right now with Dogecoin. So there's a lot of questions going around. People want to know, should we get into Dogecoin? There's some action going to happen tomorrow. People want to know, should we sell your Harmony One? So there's some different things going on. In addition to that, we have some different news regarding Fetch AI. Okay, Fetch AI is one that we've covered. It recently hit its golden pocket. In addition, and actually, guys, this happened right after the Harmony One. This hit its own golden pocket and went up. If you'll just check it out real quickly, if you're not familiar with it, you might want to become familiar with it. Went up 83% today, guys. 83% for Fetch AI. That's one that we had covered. Guys, you know we love our golden pockets here. This was a clearly defined level, which there wasn't a lot of interest in Fetch AI. I didn't want to let that out any more than I already did in terms of who all was aware of this, but that was a nice trade for those of you who were involved. Way to look out for that golden pocket again. Huge 80% gain today. Phenomenal. So as we look at the questions at hand right now, let's see the questions. We can look at Harmony One. Let's take a good look at Harmony One, then we'll dig into Doge, okay? Now, what we do on this channel is we come up with pricing targets. You guys know that. Let me see if I can find, where is the one? There's one. Harmony One this is kind of our baby here. We started off as a good, strong Harmony One channel, and we continue to enjoy that. We also house a bunch of Doge traders and holders, everything. You guys, if you're not a part of the community, we deliver very precise, precise price targets. That's what we focus on. We will give you a price target weeks in advance, if not at least days in advance, to allow you to come up with, let's say, a retracement rationale wherein it would make sense for you to go ahead and invest your money at that level, just based upon the actual let me actually take care of this music. Just based upon the actual Fibonacci's. That's what we focus on here, are Fibonacci's. So as we look at Harmony One, you guys are doing very well right now. You're doing to the tune of, let's look at, depending upon where you got in, you're up about 50% right now. And the question that people are having is, has this maxed out? Where is it going to go from here? We will talk about that, okay? That's something that we will plug in and talk about. Where is your threshold in terms of where you're happy with essentially exiting this trade? What's the opportunity for it to continue to go up? And what's it kind of being driven by? We'll have to talk about a little bit about Bitcoin, and not just the fundamentals. We love the stories on Harmony One. We love the story in terms of the management team, etc., the use case. We love the story in Harmony One. We love the story on literally everything from Fetch to not every aspect of everything, but Fetch has a phenomenal story if you haven't looked at it. You don't have to. Dogecoin, we love the story. We love the people involved. So that, as well as with Bitcoin, we're a general supporter. We don't have a lot of qualms with people. We enjoy the crypto space. We hope that you do too. And yeah, just thank you for being back. We will bring out the Twitter, guys. We always bring that out just to let you know. Go ahead, guys. If you're new and watching, if you're a loyal subscriber, just understand we do this in case anyone watches. We have about 2,000 or 3,000 people, sometimes 5,000 or 6,000 people that watch the stream. So type in the Kingdom, okay? This keeps us all connected. The Kingdom, go to the bottom of the search box. You'll see Go to the Kingdom, okay? Go ahead and select Go to the Kingdom. Click on follow. Turn on notifications. We do bring you pricing targets, guys, and we update you in terms of like daily action, what's going on. We're delivering you technical analysis. I have a very technical background. It's not financial advice. I have a finance background, okay? So they are opinions that deal with things related to kind of technical, financial, kind of crypto matters. So that doesn't make it financial advice. You guys do your own homework. We also have a Discord, and on that Discord we have everything from alpha traders, kind of a session trained program, very nice for escalated advanced traders that we're working on building up there. And that Discord link is going to be right in here on the Twitter. So you guys go ahead and just click that Discord link, and it's a great group, guys. We have about 1,000 people, between 800 and 1,000 people that are really doing well. They're into Harmony. We have a area for Doge holders, Doge traders. We have different channels in here where people are trading Doge, they're holding Doge. Also for Harmony One, also for BNB, also just all kinds of stuff. A newbies trader section. If you guys are new to trading, and yeah, that's the bull, and that's a Bitcoin, which is kind of driving the market. And let's look back at our charts here, and let's see kind of where we are at and the questions that are being asked. You guys can throw up some additional questions in the chat if we can get to those. I know it's a little bit late. We've been kind of going late. We're kind of waiting for some price action to develop. I will tell you on Harmony One, and this is kind of the case with most of these right now, most of these issues. To include, it's kind of odd because Harmony One and Fetch went off recently, kind of similarly. Okay, if you look at the chart here, you think we're talking about a completely different thing. People get upset, they want to leave, they don't want to talk about. Let's say, for instance, Fetch. But guys, look at exactly the chart here. This is the Harmony One. Just look at it for a moment. And look at the Fetch chart, okay? They're both golden pocket plays. Literally, if you were watching both of them, you could have made, what was it, 60% on Harmony 1, and then you could have flipped around the next day and made 80%, the same exact trade, guys, same exact retracement figures, etc. on the Fibonacci's. You could have literally just, popped another 80%, 70% on the trade with Fetch. So we'll stay with Harmony One because that's what most of you guys like. I did an earlier video on Fetch. No one liked it, so that's okay. No one wants the 80% right after the 60%. That's okay. I understand that you like your investments, you want to hold, and you want to know where it's going to go in price. You want to know what's the ultimate price target. So as we look at that, I think the ultimate price, the high price of Harmony One is about 22 cents. That's right, about 22 cents. So you guys would like to get back up there soon. You just hit your critical golden pocket, right? So we want to know exactly what this is going to do. I'm going to tell you, this is really close to being something that technically I really like, okay? If you can get kind of an ascending, really strong, I'd say kind of, if you can get this like condensing wedge, okay, this tightening wedge pattern, if you can get one of those at the tail end of some positive price action, you can really have, really have a great breakout. I don't necessarily see that as cleanly or clearly as I would like to right now. It does have a bit of a retracement element to it. It's still tightening. It just would have been nice, you guys, if you've seen one of these go off before, you understand that just a real tight pattern there can really, really throw you to the upside. Now this one may go ahead and perform. It's very close. You just want to see typically one that's going to really launch you is going to be maybe a little bit more sloped up just a touch more than that, but it's literally just like a condensed kind of a condensed spring that is literally just being spring loaded, and that's kind of the way you want it to look. It's just going to fly to the upside. So that's not exactly what we see here on the top of Harmony One, and I would pay attention to that. And we're down to the micro. We've got the magnifying glass down on this, but I do want you guys to know typically that loaded spring in here, and I'll draw it again just so you guys can recognize it in the future. We go over technical patterns, and I want you guys to recognize this stuff. If we were to see something that looked a little bit more like this, that were really, really charged up towards, looking like it was just going to literally, it was doing everything but going to explode. And let's raise this up here. This would be a pattern that if we saw this, and it may be a little bit more, a little bit stronger here on the upside with a little bit more as I kind of fine tune this. I'll try and find a good example maybe and post that in the Discord. But something along these lines that it's kind of a tightening wedge to the upside. This kind of stuff, guys, this kind of a pattern can literally just explode to the upside when you see it kind of a condensing fashion on the support line here and on the resistance on top. It can literally just explode. Now we have a little bit of just a touch of a pullback here, but those are the types of things I would look at as I'm saying, it would just be nice for this to continually kind of be setting a new higher high, right? In the interim, that the high would be continually kind of on the way up, and not the overall high, but this interim high of the price action would be flustered up with some additional higher lows, and it would just be condensed, just compressed completely. We have close to that, okay, close to that, but we don't have that exactly. We do have a drop off here, And as you're looking at this from a very, very particular angle, you're doing the same thing with Dogecoin right now. And you guys know that. Let's look at what Doge is doing, okay, compared to what Harmony One is doing. Then we'll make some kind of conclusions that hopefully you guys can take to your own research and do your own additional work. And hopefully this can be of help. I hope it is. Now I drew essentially a triangulation. Okay, I drew a triangulation. I always draw. Normally I deliver it with the caveat, and I did that today. I put it out to our Discord and to the Twitter, and I put it out with the caveat that essentially a triangulation coming from the upside like this on the drop or during a kind of a. I'm not going to call this any kind of a correction from here on out, guys. You don't need to call these corrections. They're retracements, okay? It's not going through a correction, it's going through a retracement. There's a natural part. It's not necessarily a shift in the trend from a bull to a bear. It's not that, guys. It's just part of a retracement. Don't call these corrections, okay? So we saw just a phenomenal, the phenomenal just upshoot in price. It was really a nice, fun time, about as much fun as you guys have had on Harmony One in the last 24, 48 hours. It was a lot of fun. The issue with this triangulation is, if I really wanted to add some flavor to this, what I would do is, and there's a reason it's in dotted red lines, okay? Out of all that I have drawn on here, it's a bunch of red, and it's one green line with a possibility there. Let's get rid of this. I want to open up what this could also be instead of a triangulation. Now, people get really excited about triangulations. They trade them very heavily, and they just got really burned on, what was that, Bitcoin, when it reversed. And I didn't like that triangulation that they had drawn. A lot of people got involved in options, and it was tough. Now, what I will say, I don't like to see people lose money. So as we look at this, of course, it's not my fault. It's not your fault, but I still have some compassion on the crew. As we look at this, this is the price action here recently. Now, as much as everyone, and I'll bring this up because Mark Cuban's about to go tomorrow. I think Mark Cuban will be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He will be talking, per his tweet earlier today, he'll be talking about Dogecoin. So it might make sense. Well, Dogecoin's played very well in the past with tweets from Elon, etc. It's going to get some great exposure tomorrow. Well, that would be fantastic. I'd like you guys to look and do your research real quickly. Look at what happened on the previous date when Mark Cuban announced, okay, when he announced that the Dallas Mavericks would be accepting Dogecoin. And he kind of put it a little bit flippantly. And you guys recognize I didn't like the way he put it. That doesn't mean I don't like him. It especially doesn't mean I'm not going to say I don't like Dogecoin whatsoever. It's just to look at the action and kind of what his remarks were. It was kind of like, well, Dogecoin will get to $1 if we sell $1 billion more dollars, or however many, $8 billion more dollars worth of Dogecoin. Whatever that comment was, it was it was almost flippant the way that he said it beforehand. So no, not trying to be critical at all. It was great press. Maybe it was just a joke. But at the end of the day, I was like, and a lot of people took that like, well, he could have, I don't know that he's raining on the parade, but at the same time, it was great for him to come out with that news, and we appreciated that very much. But I was like, why did you have to put there that we'd have to sell? It was almost like a joke. It'll go to $1 if we sell $8 billion more dollars worth of Mavs equipment. Yeah, like hello, Mark. We've been to 45 cents, and I don't think you had to sell $8 billion worth of Mavs merch. So anyway, I just bring that up because I don't know how tomorrow will go. So that's one thing in terms of looking at the scenario. Most people want to play this on a social basis right now because it has been just stuck, guys. It's literally gone up, over, and it's just stuck. We can look at how long this has been stuck, but you're like this in Dogecoin. You're also like this in Harmony One right now. You're looking at 4 days, guys. Essentially 4 days sideways. Okay, so this period of this interval right here is 4 days. All right, that's a while to be stuck sideways, but it's not exactly stuck sideways. I want to take that triangle off like we just did, and let's look into kind of what are we looking at if we get away from that triangulation amidst this consolidation. We're looking at a pretty significant dip in price. Then we're looking back up, and I just want to bring up, instead of this trajectory or this sideways consolidation, it's something that we would expect with Mark Cuban. I want to bring up the possibility that this is not a random incident right here, okay? And the other let's say the other vehicles, the trading vehicles, meaning the Harmony One, Fetch, the other ones we looked at that hit their golden pocket, they hit it. Some of them hit it twice, okay? I know, especially Harmony One hit it twice. On the second one, it really went up. it's just an example of what can happen. And as we look at the fact that this has shot up from the golden pocket, the 61.8 to the 65 percentile, that it started to consolidate, it did drop off, it picked back up. Guys, it could very easily and rationally want to drop back off into that zone. So as you look at, well, we should just put money in, people want to go big. They're in this betting frenzy right now, guys. People just want to put their money in no matter what. I just have to tell you, there's not real technicals behind it right now. There's not a good consolidation pattern that I see strongly in terms of what I would identify as a pattern. The only pattern that we do see is potential triangulation. Within that triangulation, really on the bottom side, we only have one hit in that triangle, which is why I delivered that when I did to the Discord and to our Twitter. I delivered that in kind of red dotted kind of warning lines. So it's kind of like a warning triangulation. Can it occur? Sure, it can occur, but we only have really one mid-level or midpoint, hit along the support line of the base of this ascending triangle. So that's of concern. Okay, I just say that's of concern because we would like to see more price action in and around it, and for a really solid triangulation to form. So we don't have that. So yeah, it could very reasonably want to just go ahead and hang out and go back down. If I'll tell you this, guys, if and it's going to be difficult because the correlation right now between Dogecoin and Bitcoin, the correlation between Harmony One and Bitcoin, all of these correlations are a little bit flustered right now, and I'd recommend you guys, if you're making the decision, that you go ahead and look at what it did on the last day that Mark Cuban, if you're going to play this up with Dogecoin, because this is a big news event, okay? This is a big thing that's going to affect the crypto sphere, whether or not you're a huge Dogecoin fan or not. If you're a holder or a trader of Dogecoin, you have to admit someone's going on live TV on a major program, and they're going to be talking about a cryptocurrency. That's a huge event. That's a major milestone for Dogecoin. So the fact that we're discussing that, if you guys have another different favorite coin of choice, you have to understand that's a big step forward for cryptocurrency. And I hope you guys can internalize that and realize that that's a major step, that Mark Cuban would say today on Twitter that he's going to go ahead and discuss that on a major show, on a major news outlet. He's going to discuss his use of it. And he did also say, guys, I want to bring this to your attention. He did also say, didn't he, today, let's see, is it M. Cuban? And you guys just pay attention for a second. I think you will like this. Let's look up. I think it's important because he's bringing up again, like the first tweet that he brought up, where he said, we're going to go ahead, Dallas Mavericks are going to accept Dogecoin. Okay, he's kind of tongue-in-cheek with this, guys. Look at the price action on that first tweet that he did and go ahead and analyze the price. See if you got a gain out of that. But he was just tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, and it'll go to $1 if we sell $8 billion more dollars, or whatever he said, some ridiculous amount more of Mavericks equipment, right? So that was kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's like, why did you have to state it that way? I just didn't really agree wholeheartedly with the way that he presented it. I will bring up, again, he's kind of tongue-in-cheek here. He's kind of speaking for the majority of Dogecoin. Now, he's made the cover of Dogecoin magazine. He's been a very popularized kind of figure. That's great, and we love that. Huh? He's a major player. He's on Shark Tank. He's got a business background, a lot of acumen. So what he also said today, he says, just talk to my friends. Let's see. They do the Mavs Doge sales. Okay, this was April 26th. Okay, that was yesterday. Not only do the Mavs sales continue to grow, but BitPay says they are on track to do 6K Doge transactions in April. Okay, that's fine. Same guy said the previous time was, if we do $1 billion or whatever it was, additional ones that would go to $1. Well, we've gotten to what, 45 cents without them doing however many billions. So I'm not sure that kind of commentary helps. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not sure that kind of tongue-in-cheek, this and that, flippancy, if that really helps, because it doesn't have to meet his litmus test to really go up in price. Clearly, there's a huge demand for Dogecoin. It doesn't revolve around the Mavericks, but it's nice that he's setting a trend there. I really like that. So that is a good portion of it. So I'll at least speak my 2 cents on it. So now it says, because Doge is the one coin that people actually use for transactions. Okay, he says, that's just a sentence there, because Doge is the one coin that people actually use for transactions, period. That's his sentence. Okay, we take many others via BitPay, okay? But people spend their Doge, and that means more business will start taking it. More businesses will start taking it. The greatest inhibitor to its growth is that you can't spend the Doge you buy on Robinhood. So you guys understand, he's still stating that there's a problem here. You know, it's like if you buy $8 billion worth of this or 8 billion Doge worth of Dallas Mavs merge, sorry, then you will go ahead, you'll go to $1. Now it's, well, you know, there's a big problem with it, and it's the Robinhood. So he's still caught up on the train with Robinhood or something that's kind of negative. I think he's trying to push it forward, and that's probably just his style, and he's very into being critical. Guys, he reviews things on Shark Tank, and he writes down what's wrong with things all day long. So he's kind of doing that in Twitter. It may not feel right. At the same time, whatever he's going to say on the Ellen DeGeneres show, maybe it's going to be phenomenal. Maybe it's not. I don't know if we can type in right now and bring that up. I don't know who all these people are that are just showing up, but she just showed up on there. Not sure who she is. Let's see if we can find this. Yeah, Mark's going to go on Ellen. It's real clear. Talks about Dogecoin on Tuesdays. Ellen DeGeneres show. So that's a big deal. Did he go? Did this happen already? Is he already done with this? Maybe he is. Why is it just holding? Can someone inform me in the chat session if this is already gone? If so, why are people talking about it in the Discord like it hasn't even happened? I have to admit fully, I have never watched the Ellen DeGeneres show in my entire life. I have never done that. I don't know that I ever will do that. So if it's already occurred and we're still stuck sideways in a consolidation as if nothing has happened, I'm not going to be impressed or unimpressed. If he has had zero, absolutely zero, I think this is hilarious. If he has had zero effect on the price whatsoever on Dogecoin and this has already occurred, I think we should just put a feather in everyone's cap that's listening right now. I think that would be the most phenomenal thing that possibly could have happened. So that literally, let's see, if you guys could hit up in the comments whether or not, if this has already occurred, I think it's a beautiful story that literally Dogecoin has not even flinched 1 ounce whatsoever on it. So you let me know on the Ellen DeGeneres show. I won't be watching that, guys. I just won't. I don't know why. That's just, it's not my cup of tea in terms of watching that show. I think she had even some issues I don't want to get involved with, or et cetera, with the staff. I don't want to be critical, but you guys let me know, okay? So I don't know where that is. People are talking about it occurring or not. I don't think, maybe no one watches Ellen DeGeneres. Has anyone thought about that? Maybe we don't even know if Mark Cuban has been on it or will be on it, et cetera. So as we look at this, it's just a great point. People are just emailing me about that, et cetera, and I'm like, has it happened or not? I don't think I've ever watched that show. So you guys let me know. I'll try and stay plugged in with Mark Cuban. But last time, I don't think it was a real positive impact that Mark had when it was around the Dallas Mavericks, excuse me. If you guys will recall that, he was just tongue-in-cheek with the whole thing. Now he's saying, well, he's got to just bringing up problems. Like, I think Robinhood's already working on the wallet. So I guess that'll get some additional attention. We will look into, potentially what those solutions are that Robinhood is trying to advance. The good thing is, let's just hone back into the technicals. We get to just hone back into the technicals and look at this in terms of what does this tell us, okay? We are just locked in for a period of essentially 4 days. And guys, even with the break in the action, okay, that's about 10 or 13% up or down. If you go down to the base here, that's about a drop of 22%. So after you hit the golden pocket, you got about, you went up in price about, let's see, 36%. That did not compare, for instance, to, and I just want to bring this up so you guys have some idea of what some projected gains might be, so you can kind of, begin to, kind of compare, do some comparatives between different coins that are in the same dynamic. The only thing about this, they're in the same exact dynamic right now, okay? So Harmony One just hit its golden pocket, okay? Just like Dogecoin, bam, bam, bam. These are huge opportunities to make money. Guys, I talked to you about the golden ratio, that 61.8 or to the 65% retracement, okay? And again, that retracement, you guys understand what that is. It's since the beginning, okay, of this trend, the price action, okay, a retracement, okay, essentially you're giving back in price 61.8 to 65% of the value of that trend, okay? From the low to the high, you're giving back 61.5 to 60 or 61.8 to 65% of that price action. That's a critical ratio. That's the golden ratio. So when you get to that ratio, it's kind of essential for the future construction of the price. And it's very well respected. So when we look at Harmony One being in the same predicament as Dogecoin, being in the same predicament as Fetch, okay? Now look at this, hitting the golden pocket. That was clear. Look at here, clear again. This is on fetch, okay? So we can go to fetch, okay? We can go to Harmony One. We can go to, and these are all issues or concerns that we have handled directly, okay? That we have talked about directly, okay? Involved in, heads up. Look at look at these price targets, etc. This one, 80%, okay? You have to go back a little while. We stopped talking about fetch because no one really liked it. It's complicated technology. I'm not sure who understands it. So, but golden pocket, bam, within a day after of Harmony One hitting their golden pocket. And let's hit the one. Where did the one go? I think one just kind of disappeared. Let me get back and make sure that we have one. Let me. You guys do know this. On the top right hand side, you can hit that plus button and just one USDT. We'll go to the tether and we can add that in. For some reason, that just decided to disappear. Let's make sure we have it. There it is. So the one is in that golden pocket too. It's just getting out of that golden pocket. So people may want to know, well, what's the next move after the golden pocket? Okay, we're going to get into some correlation issues here. And again, I almost really like this. Every time, now you'll notice, a lot of times I look at something and I'll say, well, I don't like that triangulation, okay? I just don't like that it's not textbook enough, etc. As I'm looking at just a different pattern, for instance, in the Doge right now. I'm not real crazy about this triangulation, okay? The reason I'm not crazy about it is, it could almost just as easily be a circumstance where we have, we only have one contact along this bottom level of support in the triangulation, okay? That's all we have. So as much as we could draw this and say you're going to break to the upside, break to the downside, watch the breakout, it could be a real easy fake out too. So I delivered that to the Discord and the Twitter, with some red dotted lines kind of warning, looking kind of strange because I didn't really care for it, okay? And the problem is you could just as easily get to the end of this triangulation here and you could have something like this, have a lot of people sell out, and it could just be getting in line with this previous low, kind of this mid-level low, and it could decide to do that and then leave everybody behind, okay? It could just decide, let's go ahead and fly up and let's just, kind of leave everybody behind. So not something I'd really want to expose myself to, gain exposure to, let's say gain exposure to, expose my portfolio to, I'd say. Now, when we look at this, essentially what you would start to do on a question like this is going to fold over, and this is your solution, guys. As you look at, if you're a holder, a long-term holder, this doesn't really apply to you. You may be learning about technical analysis. You're at the right place. If you're looking at this a solution based upon a reasonable accumulation schedule, and I'm going to say reasonable based upon something that makes sense within the demand curve, within you participating as a normal market participant. That means as the prices are higher or extremely expensive, there's no demand. Meaning you don't buy high to ever sell low. And once it goes high, what happens, guys? It always goes lower. All right, you're never going to find a chart where it goes high and it doesn't go low. Okay, it's going to go high to go low, period. That's the way price action works. Even though that's going to catch you in the gut and you're going to say, well, I just wanted to keep going high. I know, it's like gravity, guys. When it goes up, it's going to come down. Even this area right here, it does go up and it retraces back to a specific level, okay? So let's look at that and let's get off the extensions real quickly. We were working with those a little bit earlier. Let's get back into, here. Even there, guys, even on this one, you received a retracement to the first level. So, and that can be adjusted a little bit. We can go to candles and look at different time frames and kind of prove that up. But even within that, that was the bull pennant that we played. It was beautiful, huh? This was really nice action in there. So, yeah, I know that played because I played it on the breakout directly. That was a nice move. So as we look at this, the correct way to do this, guys, if you want to play on the candles, if you want to play on the line, I would recommend the line and changing to the candles if you feel like that's appropriate, okay? You guys make your own decision. But as we look at the breakout on this, what you're looking at is pretty interesting already because you're not asking me the questions in terms of whether or not you should get involved right now. And that's why people who are asking me the question, should they get involved right now, okay? I already know that you're not following any kind of reasonable accumulation strategy at all in your trading. Okay, I know that for a fact. If you're asking me if you should get involved right now, guys, you should be getting involved right now based upon what could happen and it's going into a consolidation pattern. Why? Because I know you could have picked it up right here. You already could have picked it up at the 61.8 retracement. And look what happened. Well, then if you had done it the proper way, and if you had carried over kind of, if you guys watch this channel, it's just strategy right now. This is just strategy. Pure strategy is a strategy that's used by a lot of different heavyweight investors, guys around the world who are involved in a whole lot of stuff, to include crypto. They have big positions in some of the major coins, etc. So the biggest players you're going to find in the world, okay, in terms of how their strategy, it includes a double down or triple down approach, right? Yes. Okay. So as we look at that, it's just very little exposure on the top. Okay. None on the very top. Is it extremely expensive? Zero. Okay. Just zero is available. That's it. That follows in line with the demand curve. Extremely high prices. There's just no demand. As you get a little bit more reasonable. Okay. As the price comes down, it becomes a little bit more reasonable. I have the moving averages lined in here to take a look at that, by the way. So it's a little complication with the price line, which you see in light blue. But as you come down a little bit in price, you get a little more reasonable. I just use the example, $100. Great, that'll get $100 right there. Maybe 1,000, okay, maybe 100,000, whatever that is to you. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to double that, okay? Double or triple down. It's called a heavyweight double or triple down approach. Okay, why? And this is real important. You guys will learn a lesson in here, okay? You already could have made some money here, period. You wouldn't be asking the question as to whether or not to get involved right now. So just pay attention for a second. At least you'll understand the concept of what kind of some of the bigger players are strategizing to do with their money, and probably how they make money, okay, on this, instead of just kind of trying to guess at the end here whether or not it's going to go up or whether or not it's going to go down. Now you can play a breakout here. I still think it's kind of dangerous. So let's look at this and learn. If we were to put, let's just say for purposes of an example, put $100 in the top, in this top green kind of pale area. Once we get into the more serious kind of green area, okay, in and around this next level of the fib, excuse me. This first level is the 23.6, okay, just 23.6% of the retracement. These are predefined default levels, right? The next level down is 38.2, okay? So within this level, okay, you got $100 for an example, okay? Then you're going to double that with between the 38.2 and the 0.5, okay? Okay, great. That's 200. Then we're going to take the full amount. We're going to double that, okay? Let's say 600. Or we just triple down. Triple down what's above, which is the 200. Let's say triple that down. Then we're going to triple down the 600, okay? Then we're going to get to 1800, all right? Then 5400. That's just to keep your mind in gear with the fact that at lower prices, guys, you should have more demand, all right? You should have more demand when the price is going down, all right? And the issue is, guys, like on a higher level, it just keeps you with some resource kind of treasure chest at the bottom to where you're not overexposed. Because the worst thing that happens all the time, you guys know this, people will get in up here, or they might get in right here, or they might get in somewhere that's high. All right, and then ultimately the price has gone down and people are all frustrated and they say, what do I do, London? The whole thing is just, I'm involved and it's 20 cents, you're 20 cents out on something that costs, 48 cents or whatever it is. It was high at 45 and you're at 20, and it's like, well, what do you say to someone like that other than don't buy high? That's why this approach works. Nothing in the red zone, all right? And you can see in here, we apply this at a smaller level. And once you get into this different area, you're looking at maybe $100, right? And now maybe you add a zero onto everything. If you're trading with an account that has $1 million, okay, on it, and you want to play that kind of action, that's fine. This top level could be 10 grand, could be 20 grand, whatever those figures are. It's just to make sure that at the bottom you have some reserve cash. Okay, you have to have the reserve cash. If you don't have the reserve cash, then what are you going to do? Would you leverage the $1 million in up top? You say, well, no, I don't have $1 million. Well, if you don't trade like you have $1 million, you're probably, I just say it's going to be difficult to ever have $1 million. The training that you go through now at the smaller levels in your investment is just going to, it grooms you for having larger amounts in your account. So as we look at that, you're going to say, well, how does this smaller Fibonacci apply? Well, this is the kind of the instant price action or the immediate price action that we want to look at potentially getting in on, because it's showing a lot of resilience, okay? It really is. Irrespective of a Mark Cuban show, which may have already occurred or not, I probably won't watch it when it does happen. If you guys want to let me know it went great, thumbs up, or it didn't, and that's okay. It has nothing to do with my love for Dogecoin, etc. I've got a lot of love for Dogecoin, for the whole crew, even for Mark Cuban and Elon Musk, everybody. I think it's a great crew. Just not a fan of that show, so I don't even know if it happened. Maybe it will or not. You guys can keep me abreast of that. Keep me informed of that. Let's say that. Now, in terms of the double down, triple down, with the money flowing kind of in larger amounts going down, We want to replicate that in this area, okay? In this smaller area, as we accumulate, we would like to replicate that within this zone, all right? That's the trick to it, is you can even do that double and triple down within this area. Now, what amount would you use? You say, well, that doesn't make sense, because then you use the full, if you're doing 100, 200, then double, triple down. Let's triple down every time, essentially, after the first level, okay? All you're doing is adding up the first two levels, or all the preceding levels, and you're multiplying it by 2. So it's 100, 200, then that full amount doubled would be essentially 600. That full amount doubled is 1,800. Okay, or you're just tripling down. The 600 tripled is 1,800, tripled is 5,400. The 5,400 is also the full amount multiplied by 2, or doubled down. So you can look at it however you want to. If you change those numbers, it's fine. Just understand you need to have some idea and thought process that there's more money available. There's more demand at the cheaper prices, guys. If you don't manage yourself in line with a traditional demand curve, the market is going to wash you out. You're going to get too involved at a higher level. That's just a level of restraint that's in line with economics and basic business principles, okay? So when we look at this smaller action, people should already be involved. Maybe they got involved and they got back out. I'm going to bring that up because as we look at this, it's very interesting for us that, and let's look at the candles real quickly. See, I know that people are playing the fibs on this. I know for a fact they are. And you're like, well, why is that? Well, look at exactly where the price got down to. All right, it got down to exactly, precisely the 78.6. Okay, that 22,421. So someone was sitting there and saying, well, we're going to reaccumulate right here. It may have been enough that the market maker just decided to go on down and get those. You don't know how significant of a position it might have been, but someone was saying amidst all of this, I'm going to put, essentially, I'm not going to put a bunch of different limit orders in, etc. at the different levels. I'm going to go ahead and just stack at the lowest level at which I might be reasonably stand a chance to get picked up. Okay, I'm going to stack at that 78.6 retracement, and maybe I'll get picked up by the market maker. Now, that person got picked up by the market maker. Now, let's look at what they made on that trade, okay? They literally went up about 20 up to 25%, potentially, all right? Now, there may be a bit of a differential. As you guys are now talking about different trades or different trading exchanges, I appreciate the fact that you guys are involved in discussing different trading exchanges. I'm not going to be your exchange buff and tell you which exchange to go to or not. There's too much, guys. There's too much going on right now in terms of the exchanges and them holding them from Robinhood is locking down your ability to trade, and Binance is limiting withdrawals on Harmony One. A lot of different things are going on. These are hot items, guys. People made a lot of money on Harmony One. People made a lot of money on Dogecoin. All these have the same kind of dynamic to them in terms of the price structure. The price action does look like we're kind of bleeding off a little bit in here. Dogecoin is kind of maintaining within this top red zone. But as we look at this, guys, the good thing is that if you planned up kind of an accumulation schedule within here, okay, you did get picked up during this kind of big lot. Someone probably leveraged some cash into it at that 0.786 or the 78.6 retracement, okay, that 22 cents. And literally, guys, they literally went in at exactly that. Look at this, guys. This is the fib. That's that internal fib. It's kind of difficult to see. Let me do this. Okay, you see that? They literally went in. I'll just move this over here. They literally went in and targeted precisely the 78.6 to get a deal on this. This is the Dogecoin. This is the micro, or this is the macro to your macro, okay? The micro, we have the magnifying glass on right now. Someone had the magnifying glass on enough, and we can look at this on the line. You can see, yeah, someone had already drawn this, literally, okay, and as it started to stabilize in this area, they're like, it looks like we have a top, and look what they did. They said, great, let's go ahead and just put our orders in right here. Now, how do we know they're right there? We turn the candles on so that we can see all the way down precisely where it went to. That's the price action. That's the extent of the price action. And guys, perfectly, okay? The market maker went down and picked those up. Now, in the meantime, as he did that, he probably picked up any other orders that were sitting here. So it made sense for him to just swoop down and pick up all of the different fibs right in line right there. If you were here at this level at the 61.8, all right, the 61.8, you guys made money, guys. If you were here at the 78.6, you made money. If you were at the 50%, guess what? You made money. If you're at the 38.2, you made money. Do you guys see exactly how I've been talking about this accumulation schedule in terms of how to buy in at kind of essentially, why it makes sense to accumulate more towards the bottom, okay, more towards this bottom level? Well, you just saw exactly that everyone who might have used an accumulation schedule on Dogecoin literally just got picked up for cash. And everyone's like, well, it hasn't done anything today. It hasn't moved at all. It's not doing anything. Anybody who was playing this at all after this price action, and this should be a very, very big lesson to people on Harmony One, to fetch on anything else you're dealing with right now. Because look, everybody just made money on Dogecoin. Okay, after it hit the golden pocket, went up to X% that it did. Guys, the market maker went in and literally cleared out everyone's orders. You guys get that? That's a big deal, because everyone just got paid in a period of time that was, what was this period of time? I mean, it was like, it took some time, didn't it? It took about 12, 16 hours. So that wasn't just overnight. That wasn't just, maybe it was about overnight, but it was, a little bit longer than that. But look at this. This is a very steeply constructed, very, intentional walk down this ladder. And guys, look at what you're hitting. You're hitting right here. Your first fib level, you're hitting right here. Okay? It's passing through here, right? And it's hitting exactly here. So at every one of these, the market maker is literally proving to you right now that yes, he stopped and he picked up orders at all these different levels. All right? We talk about in the red zone, we don't have any kind of capital available. It's too expensive. As you get into this level, we pepper in. We put a little bit of orders in here. Okay. As we get down here, we double or triple down. As we get down here, we double or triple down again. Okay, we get down here, we double or triple down again. You're dealing with some real, some heavier amounts of cash. And look, everybody made money on it. He just picked you right back up, stuck you right back in the consolidation on the top line. Phenomenal. Now, isn't that nice? That's exactly how the strategy is supposed to work. That's why this strategy exists. When I tell you that some of the top guys in the industry are using it, some of the top guys may have just used it right here to prove us a pretty good lesson, I would think. Now, you want to know what to do now. And guys, this is a lesson. This is all part of learning and understanding. This is not necessarily intuitive, but when you see something like this, right up back to the top, you have to understand the market maker is just allowing people to make money. That's all he did, was just take a break. Let's let everybody make some money. Come on. That's it. Now, you want to say, what's the overall, as we look at these top levels, like, how much would you put in? If you're trading with 10 grand or 15 grand, that's great. Everyone just made an extra, whatever, 20%. You made money at all these levels, though, okay? And if you doubled down, is the nice thing throughout this, you got more of an exposure at the lower level, okay? At this, your 22 cents there turned into about 20. What is it? What are you at now? 26 cents, okay? So that's good, yeah. You added about 20% on that. At the other levels, if you got it in at the other levels, at the other levels, you actually still made a profit. It just wasn't as much on each of these increments in and around this area, okay? And these can just be limit orders, okay? This is about 10%, okay, in and around there. The next level up, you probably would have made on that amount of cash, probably what, 5%? What do you guys think? Yeah, about 5%. So you're looking at 5%, 10%, 20%, okay, on all of these. And actually that third rung I left out. So that third rung is going to be probably your 15, 13, 14. Okay, so you're at 20%, 22%, 13, 14, and then you're looking at just 10 and 5, okay? So striding out those kind of orders, it looks like someone just dumped in those orders in line with the strategy that we use every single day. Guys, that's just perfect. It kind of proves what we're doing, and that's just obtaining a position during a retracement potential retracement of something that's just recently received a positive price action, positive movement in price. All right, so that's critical. And as you look at, well, how much money would go into those different levels? Well, it's not your full account, most likely, because that's not going to make sense, because this is still at a relatively high level. These are your all-time highs. Now, it's not high in terms of potentially where it's ultimately going. I'm going to say that. It may have some incredible future in terms of where all that's going. I do know you could have made 20% right in here. Okay, 20% of your money, that's a good trade for the day. That's not bad. But if you're at very high prices, okay, you're still at a relatively kind of high price up in here. Now this down in here is a lot less expensive. Huh? That's your golden pocket, right? That's very important for you to hit structurally. That's your golden ratio. So this 68 or 61.8, which is about the 20 cent mark, okay, 20 and 6/10 cents. That's key for you to hit. Within this, though, what we like to do is this, okay? We like to say about $100, $200. We like to say about $600, right? So if I were to carry that over into this, now it may be, guys, it may be 1,000, it may be 2,000, maybe 6,000. Okay, you may have, instead of just, if you were to double all of that and you had 1,800, it may be 18,000. Okay, it may be 180,000, maybe, and instead of 5,400, it may be 5.4 million. That's not of concern to me. What's of concern is that you understand that there needs to be more money towards the bottom. Okay, that's in line with the demand curve. And you'll also achieve more coins. Okay, you'll achieve more coins. And by the bottom, we're referring to this 78.6, which is just a predefined kind of default value that we're seeing laid out by our Fibonacci. Okay, so that's exactly what we're doing, and we define that Fibonacci again, guys. We draw it from the base of the price action up to, and we try and make that right in line with the peak here, and we just bring over those levels. Okay, the great thing about that's just a pre-calculation of everything on the left-hand side. It just gives us different calculations for the percentage or the ratio, essentially the ratio / percentage of retracement, how much price action is given back at this level right here from the peak. Once it hits the 23.6, that's 23.6% of the price action is given back. And guys, that's very standard. It is going to give back that 23%. So if you hold on it through that, you're losing 23.6% of your money. If you hold on it through the additional, you're losing 38.2%. If you hold on it through the additional, it's 50% of your money that you've lost. And if you hold on it through the next, it's going to be 61.8% or 65% of the amount that you had gained of the trend, this price action. You're going to give back 61.8 to 65% of that price action. That's a big deal, guys. It's a big change in your account. That's why people trade this, because it's hard to watch, say, $100,000 turn into $50,000, or $1 million turn into $500,000. Like, oh well, it's going to go up. I mean, that's a decent amount of money. That's enough to. Some people would get upset about that amount of money being lost. So if it goes down to the next level, guys, you're at 78.6%. Okay, that has been eliminated from your, and that's from the base of the trend to the top of the trend. Okay, it's not an overall value. We're not dealing with the overall value. We're dealing with the value from the base of the trend to the top of the trend. So the base of the trend is around 7 cents. Okay, so that's built into the equation here in terms of what that residual value is at the 78.6, which is about 15 cents. So what we'd like to do, again, to review this heavyweight double down, triple down strategy where the cash is essentially plugged in strongly at the lower levels, ready to enter into contracts per the strategy here. Okay, so if we have 100 in this area, we have what, 200? Oh, we're going to double that down, yeah, 200. Then we're going to double or triple down. We're going to say maybe 600. Let's say we have 200 and 600 in here. All right, well, if that doesn't sound like much, right? It's like 200 and 600. Who wants to trade with $200 and $600? Well, we have 1,800 underneath. We're ready to triple down, okay, in this area. If this decides to crank on down into here, okay? If it decides to go on down, we have more money available. We'll achieve more coins at a lower price. That's in line with the demand curve. Then if it decides to get in here, we have 5,400. All right, you want to pick up coins at that point. You don't want to be stuck with the full, let's say, 8 to 10 grand up and around this area. And that's how you get stuck up here, is by saying no, because this is going to be a good trade. Against all rationale, against all need to have greater amounts of money at lower levels, people will convince themselves, I'm just going to do this. This needs to happen. A lot of times we get lazy, we get bored, we just want to play some action. We convince ourselves that it is what it is, and we lose 10 or 20% again, then that'll just be the way it is. We can't afford to lose 10 or 20%, guys. If you lose 20%, you have to make more than 20% back up. Okay, it's very difficult to make money back up. If we lose, if we look at this, if we lose 20%, let's just say this. If we lose 20%, guys, we have to make up, okay, we have to make up, 23%. You do the math, okay, but if you lose 50% of the value, you have to make 100%. All right, realize that. If you have a 50% down day, you have to have a 100% day to get back up to the top. You just think if you have $100 and you lose 50% of it, you're going to be left with $50. you're going to have a 100% day to get back up to $100. So every 10% that you lose on the way down, you've got to make more than 10% to get back up. So it's typically, it can be more challenging. It can seem like more of a challenge. If, well, we lost 10% today, well, we're gonna, I want you to structure your minds correctly in terms of realizing that when you lose it, it's harder sometimes to make it back up. So just pay attention to the fact we're just going to hold through a loss of 23.6. It's gonna, you got to make that up. That's your cash. That's a big deal. So as we look at this, that's the amount that we would bring over, is this 200 or this and the 600. Okay, maybe that full amount, that 2 and the 600, right, is about 800. Now, what would that have done? Well, you say, well, that wouldn't have done much at all, right? That's what, $800. $800, you would have made 20% on it. All right, 20% on 800. What is that? 8 to 16. That's $160. Okay. Well, maybe your real figures are not just 200 and 800. Maybe that's just an example to show you that you should have more funds available at lower levels. Okay, at the lower levels of these fibs to be able to hit these pricing targets that it's giving you. That's what it's giving you. It's giving you the pricing target. So I'm relaying those to you, and I'm just reinforcing the demand curve that, yeah, you should have more demand at lower prices. So I like the fact that you guys can grasp onto that, and you can kind of see, well, it wouldn't have been a really bad trade. I mean, you'd go to bed happy here. Now you could have. Well, the good thing is you would have hit this. All right, you would have hit this at a pretty heavy level, right? You would have been 100, 200, 600. 1,800, right? So you would have been already, just let's play this out just on a very small nominal amount of money. Okay, you would have been up, 30% essentially. And this didn't really run out of steam until then, guys. It was really a clear trade. You got to say this. It was zooming on along. It was fine. It was doing quite well until it went sideways. It kind of achieved a lateral trajectory. So that's fine. Maybe you're out here. It started to, cruise into something you could say, well, let's go ahead and draw a fib. As soon as it kind of did that, then, let's say you're out. You decide 1,800. You're going to take your 1,800 investment. Let's go ahead and just do some quick math on that. You wanted to take your $1,800 investment, and you wanted to make, what was it, guys? Was it 35%? Can you help me out there? Let's see. You want to make 1.35 is there you go, 1,800, and yeah, you want to make $600 on that. That's cool. You can make $630 on that. That's all right. Now, if you're playing with another zero on there, that becomes pretty significant, right? Yeah, you make $6,000 on that. All right, if you want to throw 18 grand in there. Now, if you're throwing 18 grand in there, you can't risk getting over leveraged at higher levels. You have to play the downside on this. The downside risk potential is that you're going to get cooked at this level. Maybe something goes wrong. Maybe there's a big change in legislation or something happens and crypto becomes dangerous or whatever they say. I don't know. It becomes outlawed. If that happens, you have to be prepared at the lower levels with greater amounts of cash, guys. You have to be able to buy in to essentially mitigate your risk exposure at the higher levels. You have to be able to average out hugely. You have to be able to do that. It's just crucially important in terms of your ability to make money. Okay, in terms of if you don't want to make money, I can understand that maybe you'll get kind of lackadaisical or you'll get a little bit lazy with it. But if you have that wherewithal, just understand that's what was that $600, 600 plus a couple $100. Yeah, that's almost $1,000 while this thing's going sideways, right? Now let's apply that over to Harmony One. Let's take a look at Harmony One or some different interests. See that, and let's close that out. That changes the discussion as to whether or not you're going to be in or out of this. And it's interesting for me to kind of float ideas around and see, who is where and what's going on, just to see, would people trade this? At some point, they would trade this as a triangulation. I'm not going to say it's wrong or that it wouldn't work out. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to, kind of say that there was probably a better triangulation, pattern if it had gone something like this. And we saw really, a real good defined kind of, multiple touches along the top and bottom. Now you're looking at something that's okay. That's clearly more in line, and it's not perfect. This little click button polyline is not perfect, but you see that's more in line with a triangulation that you might look at and say, yeah. So, and there's no wrong approach, guys, as long as you're covered on the downside. That's all I would say. As long as you're not going to have to come to me and say, I'm overexposed, London at the top side, I put in all my cash up here. So there's no real wrong approach. Could this break out to the upside? Yeah. I mean, that'd be great. And you could have some exposure to it. That's a great idea. Maybe you decide to scale out 90%. up here. I'm going to leave 10% in. I want some exposure to the upside. That's just it. Or maybe you regained exposure when it started to hit and along this red line here. Maybe you captured your gain in around this level, and then maybe you decided, you're going to go ahead and re-enter the market in and around this level, okay? Once it hit down into here. Maybe that's acting as some sort of a support here, is that people are peppering in their little money in here. They're saying, okay, great, we have $100, something's keeping it up. So maybe it is just, I always talk about that, just maintain that sideways trajectory, or that lateral trajectory. So it's very possible that this is literally supporting the market right now. Maybe someone did come in heavily, or maybe he just decided to pick all those up at once. If you guys are doing the strategy, I tell you, it's working great. And I can see that, some things happen, because why else is it going to just dance along this line? Who else is just sitting here buying? It's just, I guess that's the amazing part of this, is it's, you have established the support there. So we would expect something to happen quickly. I would say relatively quickly. We would expect something. We may even I won't say here on the stream, but we may wake up to some positive price action. And Doge has been kind of going sideways, while some other coins have done really well, and it doesn't like to be left behind. Let's look at this strategy in line with the Harmony One. Let's look at the opportunity for kind of not only profit in terms of the profit. And I talked to a really nice girl today, and she had gotten in at 9 after watching our program. That is phenomenal. Congratulations. Oh, and a big shout out. I got to give a shout out to all our alpha traders, to Kent, doing a great job in trading. Shout out to Kenny Crypto. Shout out to Alpha Trader, and shout out to Banquita. Shout out to all you guys. You're doing a great job. You guys, if you want to plug into them and everybody else, make sure you hit up our Discord. It is a nice looking thing. It's working very well. Appreciate all the tech help, you guys, and also on our Twitter, just type in The Kingdom. I keep telling you, some of you are on the fence, like maybe we want to, maybe we don't. Go to the search box, click search, and then go down the bottom. Not any of these people. That's not us. You'll click on the different stuff. It's like, that's not us. You have to push in or type in Go to the Kingdom. So click on Go to the Kingdom, and then that'll be us. Click on follow and turn on notifications, because we push out a lot of pricing targets. We push out all types of information to our group. We're constantly doing that throughout the Discord, where we have alpha traders. We have private session rooms for alpha traders. We're working on about 1,000 people in this specific Discord. It's a nice group, guys. It's very professional. We keep the there's an area here for Ask Me a Question. It says Ask London. Then we have our private session rooms with trading, technical trading, alpha trading. That's a private room for alpha traders. We're working on just kind of training in line with it. Can be a self-training ordeal, but I started this stuff in high school, guys, so it's something I'm very familiar with. And Doge trading, we have a Doge trading room, and we have a waiting room. I don't know what that is. Also a radio channel, whatever else. But newbie, Doge, what do you have? Exclusive members, BNB, poster trades, hot cryptos. Guys, it doesn't cost anything. Just join over and say hello. And it's a good part of the community. So go ahead and do that. If you follow us here, let's see if we have any notifications. Let's see what's going on here. We have just, hey, we got Sean. Shout out to you. We got some Isai, shout out to you as well. We got some more people down at the bottom, but yeah, welcome to the channel. This is a highly technical channel. I'll tell you that. It's not something for everybody, but people who want to engage in trading. Okay, and we do some diagnostics on a real technical level, especially the alpha traders, guys. We're getting into some great stuff. So shout out to all you guys. Wanted to say hello, and let's look at this real quickly. Let's look at what this has done to us, okay? Is whether or not if we've been allowed to get back in the market once we got out of the market, right? That's the trick in terms of what you're going to look at. Have we been able to get back in the market once we got out of the market? The answer is yes. We have been able to enter back into the market once we got out of the market in line with this first level of the, and let's just see if we can do this. Okay, let's just pull this down for a moment so you can see what we've done, what we've decided to do. Is after the positive price action on Harmony One, we've drawn in more fibs. Now it's receiving a positive. I keep saying this, guys. I keep saying it just looks positive. Okay, it's very close to kind of a spring coil, a condensing kind of coil. I'd say pattern that it could just erupt up. The fact it's kind of slanted down is indicative of it's just not exactly what I want. I'd like this a little higher, this a little deeper, and just to coil up like that would just be great. It doesn't want to do that. It's so close though. It's just so close to price action. If you know what I'm talking about, it's just a really close to being a phenomenal price action in terms of something that could erupt upwards. I don't necessarily want to see it, although it would mean greater prices. Now, what we've done. Although it would mean greater prices if it were to go down and retrace, I would. I'm not going to hope that upon it at all. I never do that. So I never hope the price goes down. As we look at this, this is the base. Okay, we draw this fib in line with the initiation of the pricing trend. We get this right up to the top, right? We want that right on the line, guys. And what we're looking at is we know essentially when the price is breaking down, it's a good time to exit the trade. You may not exit fully. You may have holdings, and you never wish to exit anything. But if you're looking at not having a percentage of your, of the value of your portfolio, et cetera, expire, not expire, but go down, diminish in value, then we're going to say that, yeah, there is a proper time to exit a trade. You buy low to sell high. That's kind of the ephemeral idea of trading. That's what we do. They've been doing that for a long time, and it works. It's a system that works. So if you did that, I don't know that you preserved or that you reserved. Let's say reserved an amount for you to maintain in the trade in case it were to go higher, because it's been very bullish. You may have done that. You may have kept 20% of your trade. Yeah, that's fine, no problem. Now this is another consolidation, another lateral pricing action. We just saw this on Dogecoin, right? Yeah, Dogecoin has just been going solid along the top line level here. Just a lot of people peppering in stuff along the top. If we look at that, and I use that terminology, just pepper in $100, just something real light. Create some positive, some trajectory, some positive bullish trajectory here. Because when you have a little bit of demand in here, even if it's just a little bit, guys, that's some action, right? Something is keeping this in this top level. So when I talk about, just pepper in some money. Now, someone had some lower trades, and some had some cash down here, but this is what I'm talking about, guys. When you pepper things in like this, and it's clearly being done, okay, that just means that you're creating a bullish potential here. And you say, well, it does look bullish. People want to get into it now. Yeah, that's what it does. So that's nice. And at the same time, you're not overexposed. It's kind of like a nice way to, if it does decide to go up, you already have an interest in it. And when it touches this level, this first green level, you're in. Just right there. Boom, you're in. Just small amounts, small exposure, just pepper it in. So let's look back at one. So we have that sideways consolidation in and around or for Dogecoin. Now, as we look at Harmony One, let's take a look. And we have to go to the candles, because it's been, they've gotten into this, and it's wanted to pop around. They've gotten down. They have hit it to allow some exposure after this trade was exited. Some people definitely got in right here, oddly enough, but that's just the program. It's the way that things work. This is the trading program. It's called TradingView. We have the Pro, Premium Edition, etc. But you got picked up here as well. So some people do have an exposure. If you exited the trade, you have a light exposure now. And again, just a light kind of peppered in, because we would expect the price to retrace a little bit more. It would be a phenomenal event, guys, and I mean it would be phenomenal if this just decided to erupt again. I would hedge a bet, or I would go ahead and want to I would want to state that the probabilities are there is going to be some retracement, unless there's enough people here that are saying no, we just want to kind of pepper in and play very well after. And it kind of, I would see this after a 60% gain, after a 60% gain from the golden pocket, people may just be like, okay, that was great. Let's just play a small amount and kind of see what it wants to do. So that's reasonable to me. I could see that. I could definitely foresee that occurring. As you look in, again, peppering in just a small amount of money in here. Give yourself some exposure potentially to the upside. That's kind of what the strategy says. Now, in realistic terms, you guys get excited when it starts to create this bullish action, but you see what that does? Okay, it's not just you getting excited, it's the whole market that starts to get excited in terms of, what is this going to do? It's going to continue to go up. So it creates that, it feeds on that, and a lot of people in the market may just decide, well, we want to go ahead and get in this. Maybe we're going to be too late by the time it has its next kind of frequency interval there. That's one of the things we would say is it probably has a timing interval to it. We could get a little bit more detailed in terms of what we would expect, specifically in terms of timing. The last time it kind of did this, I'm going to say, was around here. Do you guys see that? The last time it looked like it really wanted to do this, and it could drop off a little bit and become kind of like this. But do you see the nature of this price action in here for Harmony One, it's real similar. This time that it went up to, that was 60%, right? Yeah, and this one here was about the same, right? Yeah, and just the nature of the price actions just they look like brothers or sisters. Just look at them. They're almost twins. You see that? Look at that. As you look at that, it may give us some indication in terms of what we can expect. We're constantly, in terms of technical analysis, we are constantly, guys, trying to find previous price actions, something to tell us an event forward in terms of what we can expect. Okay, so that's going to be the notion is that, and guys, I don't know that it's much different here. If this acted as a reset at all, and again, I just said the possibility, rather the probability is that it's going to retrace if there's enough price action, if there's enough people peppering in money and putting trades and orders in, it will maintain it. Okay, but it's a lot of money, guys, that needs to be put in. This is a $1 billion plus concern, so it's not just a few $10,000 accounts getting into this. It's a major program trade at this point. So we're looking at, we're essentially always looking at prior history. We're looking at a history to try and bring to fruition some sort of a prediction or some sort of a playable event. Okay, this is kind of what it feels like it could do. And I'll just say, like this movement right in here, it kind of feels like it could just skyrocket up. That's what people are hoping right now, is that, yeah, we want it to go up right now, just like it did then, to another 60% and create just another, huge positive price action. That's what people are wanting, right? We want this thing just to go up exactly like that is, and we kind of have the feeling that that could occur. The reason as to why that might not occur is because you're at a different point in the cycle, okay? You're at a different point in the cycle, and it's just going to take some more to build this back up, okay? It's a little bit easier when you're dealing with this essentially this phase of the growth pattern. I don't want to get into, I spoke with someone today about Elliott waves, etc. I don't want to get really too far into Elliott waves. I just don't. The Fibonacci's keep things simple. They allow us to discuss things, but you're in a real kind of aggressive growth phase in here. This is kind of more of a relaxed pattern. You can become aggressive out of this phase, okay? It can happen. It's not as typical, okay? It's not as typical as this aggressive pattern in here. If you were to start back up a new wave like this, then that would be beautiful, okay? And it's kind of feeling like that's what wants to occur. I think maybe some people got excited about that when they saw the candle breakout in and around here. But I would stick to your guns in terms of, like, if I were to trade your account for you, and I'm not going to do that, you know that. I'm not going to give you advice, but I would just stick to your guns. Whatever your strategy is, maybe that's the best thing to say is don't let me change it, don't let anyone change it. You stick to what you guys know to be true. And you guys, I'm sure you got here somehow in terms of being really intelligent people and being able to trade your accounts. Just stick to your own guns. Do what you feel is best, and I look forward to hearing from you guys what you're engaged in and what you're doing. All I can talk to you about is what the program is telling me. I can talk to you about what appears to be happening in terms of the overall strategy that's being shared between One and between Dogecoin. Okay, they both, all you guys hit the golden pocket. Also with Fetch, that's another one that I've been involved with in terms of covering, etc. So it's kind of strange that all of them are covered on this channel, and all three of them just hit the golden pocket. And they're all potentially, Fetch hit a little bit afterwards, but is Fetch just going to go into another consolidation, because that's three right in a row, and those are three that literally we've covered on this station. So good job, guys. I'm sure that you are involved in one of these. That's all I'm going to say. Between the Doge and between the Fetch and between so those are the only three that we really cover. We talk about other ones, but those are the three that we've gone into some kind of depth and detail. We do cover Bitcoin, but that's not like an expose on Bitcoin. Let's check it out. What's going on with it? Where are we going to get in? What's our pricing target? We're just not like that with Bitcoin. So we will look at it for a second, and I know everyone, this just bores you. So if you got, let's just be bored for a minute. Let's look at it. But it's back up to what, 54? It's gone up to about 55.7. So, it may try and fake some people out here again, and if it does, I guess we can just enjoy that for a second while everyone, this little fake out right here, right? It hasn't exactly gone through that yet. So it may want to dip down into this again, right, and just give people a heart attack and have them screaming all over the place. I don't know what they're trying to do when put things together like that on the tapes. But if it's going to really mirror one side to another, and just be prepared for that, because if this goes down, guys, it can affect your Dogecoin, it can affect your Bitcoin, it can affect your Dogecoin and your Harmony One, it can affect your Fetch, your Ripple, your VeChain, your whatever else you got, your HBAR. Or your, essentially it can affect all of it, even your Ethereum. So everything's kind of in the red right now, and it's a good time to maybe look at your purchasing, essentially your purchasing. Let me go ahead and put the Discord link at the top there. James Bond is in the house. We really appreciate James Bond. He is from Australia, one of the coolest guys around, and it's a pleasure to have him in the chats as our moderator. What a great guy. Really salt to the earth, just really incredible guy. So we're really, really happy and fortunate to have him there. So I did send this out earlier in terms of the triangulation, so I'm not going to blame anyone for looking at it. I did send it out in kind of red dotted lines, and it was just something that, like, it's a psychological like probe that we've kind of put together, because as it does, and I'll admit it does it with me too, okay, as it maintains this line, it just creates kind of a bullish, it just looks bullish. And so, guys, when I'm constantly talking about, well, along this first level, what we want to do is just pepper in things, right? Well, you see what it does. It creates a bullish sentiment. It creates a sentiment where people are like, what is this thing going to do? It's going to have some kind of price action at some point within a relatively positive or predictable frequency, right? There's going to be some sort of scheduled injection of cash, some mentality that wants to say, let's play Dogecoin again, or let's play Harmony One, or let's play whatever your coin of choice is. But you guys understand that that's part of the reason that we do that. It's not to be lightly involved. That's not we want to not be heavily involved when it goes up. That's not it. We just want to create a scenario. And again, guys, you got picked up on this. If you follow the strategy, you all got picked up all along here. Now, you didn't have to sell that. You could have out here, and you could have already made money. Anyone who played the strategy, and it's just the strategy that we cover, it's just an example of what's used on the street, etc. That's really just indicative. You're either still in it and you're at a decent price relative to where it is right now, and you're already in the money, or you sold out and you've reacquired just a little bit here to kind of give you some exposure to the upside. So that's phenomenal. That's what we want to see. That's what I wanted to cover when I decided to live stream this and just bring you guys some information of kind of what the philosophy is. That would be, don't become overexposed at the top levels. Basic business principles, guys, basic economics. You can't overpay for things at the higher prices. There is no demand. That's just the way it goes. If it's extremely highly priced, there's just not going to be a demand. So this is all in line with that, and it includes some really good technique, I'd say, and it includes a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to give that to you guys who are like, yeah, it's a challenge. It's just flatlined out. And I don't know what does that have to do with the Ellen? I don't know what's going on. And I don't dislike the Ellen DeGeneres show or anything. I don't mean to come off like that, but I don't know if they even had the show or not. I'm never going to watch that show. I never am. It's a fact. I don't watch TV anyway. It's not my cup of tea. I'm always on the trading desk here. So. Trading View, Trading Desk, etc. So that's about it for now, guys. I just wanted to bring that to you, and let's see. So Mark Cuban just tweeted about Doge. Did he do that right now? This is where all the rumors start just occurring. What's up, Morpheus? Good to have you, brother. Now we got another 007 in the house. What's up? Nice to have you, Morpheus. You are joining a great group. We have multiple 007s. That's phenomenal. Let's see what has Elon Musk done anything. Let's take a look and see if Elon has done anything. That'd be a nice shout out. Starships. And let's see. I guess he's going to Saturday Night Live soon. That's nice. Let's see what we have. Mr. Elon Musk, anything interesting? Doesn't look like anything too interesting. And we'll look at Mark Cuban. This is how things get started. It's like, oh, Mark Cuban's going to such and such and the show, and then he's not going to the show, or I have no idea. I think it's nice that he's involved. Those shows must be a little stressful. You guys think about that? You have to sit in front of a live studio audience, and you have to, I guess, perform. He's used to that with Shark Tank and everything. You don't think about that. He was going to maybe run for president or something, wasn't he? Here we go. Here we go. All right. The last 6 minutes. All right. Last 6 minutes. People who are still here, 99 of you. Listen to this. When was the last time you looked at your bank account and felt like you had more money to spend and things got cheaper? Doge might not go up, but I'm saying there is a chance. That's why. So why not just use USD? Okay. So he's answering to someone who just said, why not just use USD? Okay, in terms of purchases. This is Neo Asian that he has responded to. Let's see who Neo Asian is. Neo Asian has 240 followers. Okay, Neo Asian, that's fine. Very interesting. He says, any asset that has inflation by definition is infinite. Okay, is infinite nut that doesn't diminish it. Okay, but that doesn't diminish it. That's what he wrote here. Okay, it changes. I'm glad I'm not the only one that makes mistakes. Okay, nut that doesn't diminish it. It changes the utility from store of value to potentially a digital currency. It's the fact that they create 5 billion a year that keeps the price per coin low, which makes it more accessible. All right. All right. Well, I guess we understand that. I don't disagree with you, Mark. I think that's well done. Now he also followed that up. Mark followed that up with when was the last time you looked at your bank account and felt like you had more money to spend and things got cheaper? Doge might not go up, but I'm saying there is a chance. That's why. So why not just the USD? So that's Mark again saying there's a chance of it going up. He's not going to say that it will go up. He said it might not go up. But again, he's just kind of tongue in cheek with this stuff. So I don't know. Has he gone on the show yet, guys? Can you let me know at all whether or not he's already gone on this talk show? Because I started off under the assumption that he hasn't, but I don't think I've ever watched that show in my life. So I really wouldn't know. Let's see if he says anything else about Dogecoin. Let's just do some research on the fly here. I don't think anything else is about Doge immediately pertinent to this. Let's see. Okay, April 26th. No, it may have been a long time ago. Where was the update? Where are the clips? I didn't see any of it. I don't even know if it happened. I guess he went on the show. I've never watched that show. Have you guys watched that show? Are you big fans of that show? I don't know. I've never seen really that show kind of go off the way I'd like. The Price is Right. Fun stuff like that. Cool stuff going on. Vanna White. She's cool. I like Vanna White. I grew up with her. She was nice, not literally, but anyway. Let's get back to this is our Discord. You guys, anything cool you guys have to say? Just shout it out. We like our golden bull. That's our golden bull. So we like that. We also like our space creature. We have this glow in the dark. I mean, we have the golden bull here on the Twitter. But guys, look at this. This is pretty cool, huh? That's like a spaceman with the moon, a crypto kingdom. That's pretty cool. Crypto with a K. You guys know that. And, all we're pushing is opportunity to learn and help each other, guys. So that's what we're pushing is people making profits. And we've smoked some trades here recently. It's been nice. So, yeah, let's see. It's just kind of, it's continuing to go. It's continuing to go. And I guess we're looking at, I don't know what you guys would like to spend time. What is Mark Cuban doing? I have no idea. It's like it might go up, but I'm like, it might not go up. Like, why don't you talk about the fact it's already gone up to 45? He wanted to not go to $1 unless you spent $1 billion on Mav equipment merch. I'm sorry, but Mavs are, I guess they're a pretty decent team, right? But they're not gonna sell the house out like that that I know of, and I guess that's okay. But he's still a pioneer for Dogecoin. He's still talking about it. That generates some some talk, huh? It's generated some talk here. So. As we look at this, it's just going to continue to go sideways until we make a move. Probability is it would like to dip down. The only way it could become slightly more interesting is to form a little bit more of a triangle. I'm not into the triangulation. I am into the fact that if you guys played this correctly, you've already made money. If you've been watching the show, okay, if you've been watching this show, and if you literally have been paying attention and you executed strategy today, you've already made 20%. So I know that for a fact. If you executed strategy, you've been watching this show. Now I say the strategy. If no one executed it at all, which is fine. It's not intended to execute. Okay, that's not the purpose. But if anyone knows the strategy, okay, and it's my strategy that is it's a strategy delivered that belongs to some of the biggest guys on the street right now that you'll literally hear talking about the strategy. So I'm communicating that strategy. Their strategy, the strategy, has delivered 20% in terms of just this price action today. That's not bad. Okay, that's just not bad. So would it go up more? At that point, you're kind of chasing. You're looking at, and we'll apply this to Harmony One and some other stuff here in a second. But at that point, you're chasing already potentially like a 30%, let's say reasonably a 30 to 40% gain. That's good on the golden pocket. That's all right. Yeah, you're chasing a 30 to 40%. Then you're chasing a 16%, right? 15, 16%. With you've already made 30, then you've made 10 or 15. Now you want to make another. I mean, do you really want to chase that? I mean, what if you just made 10 or 15? And you made 10 or 15. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you guys can draw fibs, right? I know you can because you guys are drawing them all day long in the Discord and everything else. You guys are good at it. You're proficient. Okay, so you understand this reaccumulation and you just bring over these amounts of money into this smaller zone. So this becomes a real beautiful, just, no problem. Thank you, market maker. You're going to dip down in here and make it obvious even that that's going to occur. It's nice. You pick up that, you hit right on that 618 on the line chart, that 23 and 23 and a half cents, and then that 786 on the candles, you're down into that 78.6 retracement, about the 22. So that 22-cent price with more volume gets lifted up back into this first zone here. So you make your 20% on that. That's sweet, guys. That's a sweet little trade. That's nice. And depending on the amount of money that you have overall, you may not tier in like this on all your limit orders and really try to focus and accomplish that. That may not be worth it. It's great practice. A lot of you want to trade on paper, etc. It's great practice. Working with smaller amounts of money just to make sure you have a technique. And if that's not your technique, like what's your technique? I'd love to hear about your technique. And that's where we have the Discord and the Twitter and everything else that you guys can lay into that. Let's look at. Looks like maybe we need to pin this tweet. Let me pin this tweet real quickly at the top, and we'll place that at the top. You guys click on that Discord deal and make sure that you have things to do with our Discord in terms of like saying hello and everything else like that, but have something to do with it. What do we have? Tycoon Investor World. Yes, just I'm looking through some of these deals here. We have a real technical crowd. That's one thing about you guys. It's not like a real, kind of I don't know. It's not any kind of wild crowd. It's just a real technical, nice trading crowd. I like it a lot. Building up a good crew. So, what else we have? All in Harmony, 6K in a month. Rocket should be 12K. All right, let's look at, so what does this mean for one? If you guys need to see anything else on another financial matter, this would be the time for you to let me know. Okay, so I'd be happy to discuss anything else. So yeah, on here, you're at the same point, guys. You're out, you're back in, you have some exposure. And I don't know. I think there's more of a sentiment that people aren't necessarily playing the fibs here. They're probably just holding, you guys, and probably people are just buying more. I've spoken to people who got in around 9. If they got out, I'll just say in around 9 cents. That's right in the golden pocket. That's beautiful. You guys did great. You made 50% of your money, or 40%. What'd you make? Yeah, you made 50% on your money at heavier amounts of money. That's a beautiful trade. Congratulations to those of you who entered it. And we go through a lot in the channel, so it's nice to stay up to date. And sometimes we just throw in a brief interlude of essentially what the trade action is and where the pricing targets are. The pricing target means, okay, that means we're going right here. And we talk about it way up in here. Where they're going right here, this is what the program's telling us is a pricing target. And we just communicate that to you. We tell you what the program's telling us so you can go try and do great things in terms of achieving a trade. And yeah, I think that's about it. Let me take a look at just if there's any kind of closing thoughts from Ethereum. Someone wants to look at Ethereum. Oh, let's look at Ethereum. Ow, 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 ow. I'll just say ow, huh? Because what? It looks high, doesn't it? Yeah. What do we do when it's high, guys? We sell when it's high, right? Typically, yeah. We buy low, we sell high, right? So, well, everyone says it's going to keep going up. It's going to go to 20,000. Okay, maybe it will over time. But I'll just tell you, when it's high like that, and I just say, whoa, whoa, because I also like the price action on it. You guys know that? When you look at price action, when I'm, I had that drawn out there, huh? And that worked out relatively well, but I think someone else had drawn that. I normally play along with other people's triangulations to kind of show kind of what the deficits are in them. So when you see them drawn here, that's normally me just taking them and saying, like, they drew this. Let me see what this is and how many different ways it doesn't make that much sense. So that's normally what you'll see if I pop up a chart and it's got some sort of triangulation on it like that one. So when I say I like this pricing action, guys, pricing action in like this, and I draw this out quite a bit. This is a sine curve, okay? So pricing action that looks more like this, okay, that looks like that represents more money, all right? That is more money to be made in the trade. So when I get something that looks kind of like that, even for a brief minute up in here, okay, that looks like something that wants to trade. It's looking like that sine curve. And what I'll pull this out a little bit. You understand, the low, you buy low, you sell high. You buy low, you sell high. Buy low, you sell high, okay? The tighter that these frequencies become, there's more opportunities to buy low and sell high. That's why we like it to look like that, okay? So when this kind of replicates that a little bit, and it looks just, really chaotically volatile like that, that's what I like, okay? I like that because it's a good opportunity to make money, okay? That's a good opportunity for you guys to capitalize on your trades, maximize your returns, okay? So that's what I'm seeing here is just that, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, all within the same range, guys, essentially. That's part of, literally, that's exactly what we were just looking at up here on a more extended basis. So will that continue? Not necessarily. It's achieved a new high, technically. That's nice for Ethereum. Now, what do you do? What do you know that we just were into, right? We were just into the Fibonacci's, right? So what would I do with this? I'd probably go back to the line chart. I always go to the lines, okay? And then I throw out some fibs, right? And I play that. And let's see, you guys think it hit the first red level? You think it hit into this green here? I bet you did. Let's go back to this. Let's see. Close. It didn't. So we have to wait on that to hit into here. I'll bet you it will. How about that? I bet you it will. And I'd be interested to know if it did at all, if anyone picked up at the, because I get this from you guys sometimes. You may have already bought it on Robinhood or something else, but if you did pick that up, whoever just asked that, I'd be real surprised if it didn't hit in there. If you hit at the, what is this at? Hold on. If you hit at the 25.66, if you picked up 25.66 after the peak there, I'd like to know that. If someone wants to let us know in the Discord, if you picked up 25.66, I'd be real surprised if you didn't. 25.64. I'd almost bet that you did. So we've seen like 2 or 3 issues like that with Harmony One, etc. recently, but that's almost just hard to believe that you would have corrected back to that and you didn't solidify within the first range. If you haven't, I would anticipate that you'd have that chance here shortly. That's just going to happen. We may want to look at the time interval, see how much time has passed. Let me go and kind of restructure this here and then go back to the line. But if you hit that, let us know, and if you haven't, it just looks like you already did. I guess that's the issue too. It just looks like maybe you had there, and I would anticipate that occurring. So let's go to there, and let's make sure that's correct. This is a messy one, huh? It's just kind of messy, isn't it? The whole thing's kind of messy. Let's snap on. Make sure if you guys hold down, someone brought this up, hold down your control button, and you should be able to just snap things onto the chart. Let's go to the 1 hour. How about we go to the 1 hour and let's look at this. Here we go, and let's condense that a little bit. Let's go back to our lines, and let's see exactly where we're at on this pattern. What a mess, guys. This is not a friendly, it's a good trade, but look at that consolidation, just kind of throws you sideways. You don't technically want to throw the consolidation into your, and this is where you're going to get, unfortunately, guys, this is where you're going to get, because you don't want to include your consolidation in the next price phase if you can prevent it. Okay, whenever you're doing this, and this is where it gets a little tenuous, if you're dealing with something that's real aberrant like this, that's why it almost behooves you just to go ahead and draw in something in terms of a channel pattern. And you can strike different levels of inclusion in the channel. If you're going to ever trade a channel, just remember I'm doing this, but you have different kind of levels within the channel in terms of an assurance that you're giving yourself, different confidence levels within that. And the longer that it maintains within that channel, you're able to trade at more aggressively at the outsides of this channel. On the extremes, if it really gets in there, you leverage in more capital. A little bit more lightly into the periphery, or just the kind of the outer zone of this channel. So it would be lighter amounts of cash in here, heavier amounts of cash and along the extreme portions of that channel. And depending on the channel, what all you're looking at, that's going to be a good the deeper you get into those channels, the more cash that you want leverage, but you still want to pick up the opportunity. A lot of this, guys, you're learning, you still want to pick up on the opportunity to get some exposure within that channel without getting all the way, or not hitting all the way into the channel. So typically also on your fibs, guys, on your fibs, you don't want to include like a previous sideways consolidation. You want to include the breakout of that. So this is going to be debatable between people in terms of what could be included or should be included and what's not. I would say, as a matter of course, I don't include this previous action. It gets a little messy though when you look at this. I would say though that is the case, not just to drop this down to where it's at, although that does show the price action where it is standing, but that's where I would probably end up. That's where I would stand on that. And if we were to apply that over here, just so you understand more of the fibs, if I were to apply that over to here, it would look like this, okay? It would look like that for this pricing structure, and I would have that over. This is the way I do this, guys. I've been doing this a long time. Over this previous, I wouldn't include any of this mess in here. That to me is just not, that's not clean price action. So that's what I would look at. I would include this, and as I draw this over, I would just kiss the top of this with this line here, so that I'm getting into this this pricing action. And you'll see that's consistent here. You see how that breaks in along with, and if we move this overall deal here, you see how that breaks here, guys. It's real important. Check this out. That does hold true. If this breaks right in here, okay, that breaks right at that first level, it goes down to your golden pocket, and it continues to break down here. It's kind of a scary way to look at things, because you are also there's kind of a channel trade going on, which is kind of dominating the fibs right now. So that might be a different way to look at the fact that maybe you're in a circumstance where the fibs will catch a bid, allow you to accumulate some, but you may need to go negative on those fibs and continue to be willing to not only trade that channel, but also double down at lower levels. Now, it has not experienced some real negative price action in a while. As long as Bitcoin continues to maintain a little bit in terms of its inclusion in around the what is that upper level for Bitcoin, as long as it's staying in its own red zone, that top level fib, I think this is going to be okay. Is it going to really outperform to the upside? Well, if Bitcoin outperforms, this is going to outperform. So yeah, if the bulls run back in town, yeah, it's going to be it's going to be something nice. It's just you have leveled off here. As much as it's setting new all-time highs, guys, it's just not real aggressive right now. So everyone's really excited about Ethereum. It has gone up, even while Bitcoin's been a little bit challenged. It's kind of been the star-studded, kind of a little bit off, off the regular pattern. It's not following Bitcoin necessarily, but yeah, it's just a slow kind of rise. People are saying, well, 3,000 very quickly. Well, at 3,000, you'd be getting there in not that. You would be getting there within a period of time based upon this trajectory. I would hope it would beat this trajectory, but within this trajectory, you're looking at that within the next 18 days potentially, but on this line. Now that can change, but in about 18 days. So that's it's almost 3 weeks. That's okay, but you're also looking at if you just stay in line with this trajectory, right? And within that period of time, if you're looking at the 3,000 in 18 days, that's about a 12% increase. So yeah. A lot of funds could flow into Ethereum, because I'll tell you, it did not get its major bounce earlier on. If you guys will recall, the bounce on, and this is important and very interesting to look at, when Bitcoin actually got its bounce from 58 to 61. If you guys will recall that, it was kind of like an intermediate bounce. It wasn't really a new, ultimate high. It wasn't really exciting or anything, but it got I think February 21st. Is that right, guys? I think February 21st and around the let's see what happened here. This was the 58. Yeah, February 21st. That's right, February 21st to March. What is that? February 21st to March 13th. Okay, when it made that leap from February 21st to March, from the 58 to the 61. Okay, you'll see that pattern right there, and that additional high. Well, Ethereum did not receive that. So you talk about how it's been outperforming, etc. But Ethereum did not really receive that. Look at February 21st right here, and look what happened in March. It did not even achieve a new high. So just pay attention to that it has underperformed. It's kind of due to outperform, and I'd say right now it's high. I'd say it's high. I would say right now it's high, because it has just achieved a new high, and I would say maybe it can go higher. That'd be great, but I would rather catch it on the downside after we reestablish some fibs and have some security. I would not go heavily into that. If anything, I wouldn't even pepper into that right now. It's in the top level in the red. So, but yeah, great trajectory. And look at the trend line. It's a beautiful trend. I'm just really picky in terms of not buying high. I like to buy low. So when it corrects, that's when I like to get in. That's a profit making strategy that I adhere to. So that's my thoughts on Ethereum. Let's see what else we have. Is Dogecoin going to recover? Dogecoin is in a sideways trajectory. So let's see what we have. We have the Discord. You guys know about that. It's the pinned tweet. We have some diamond hands. You guys put a diamond in the deal. If you hold Harmony 1, put a diamond in the chat room right now so I can see how many we have. If you're new to the chat and you haven't been here since the beginning, if you just showed up, give us a thumb up so we know that you're new, and I can kind of dictate. Maybe we need to go back over some of the stuff we covered in the very beginning. Push the thumb up or the like button, and that'll let me know how many people have just gotten in. And if you are a Doge holder or Doge trader, go ahead and put a rocket ship up there. And not that belongs only to you guys, but yeah, put a rocket ship up if you're the Doge. That way you can kind of see who all is in here. And yeah, let's see that. So we have the Harmony one with the diamond. We have the yeah, we have the different groups. Doge with the rocket. And yeah, let's see about that. Let's see. Guard my privacy. It's asking me to guard my privacy. There we go with the thumbs up. Good. It's good to see that stuff. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to come at you live because we've got some issues pertaining to people wanting to get into Doge. So I was sitting here, I was like, do I really want to get into this? And I decided I'm just going to speak my piece and go about it and talk about it. On the daily chart, it looks kind of interesting. It's just flatline. Look at that on the daily. Very interesting, huh? We looked on the 1 hour in terms of the acquisition. You guys have profited. Those who have followed the strategy. It's not easy to follow, but the overall strategy is just having more available, more demand on the bottom side, right? That's just it. So you Doge guys, what's up? That's nice to see, huh? I appreciate that. Look at you. Look at the Doge guys coming through. That's nice. Very, very good. So, well, guys, this is the technical channel to kind of follow and to watch. We appreciate you tuning in. We try and bring you accurate information in a timely fashion, and we'll develop the channel a little bit more. If you guys want that, if you want some flash and pizzazz and whatever else, we can do all that. It's just we kept it really simple. We've just focused on the technicals. I know it's not real. It's not a beautiful looking channel. We deal with like rote fundamental technicals, and we've just got, I don't know how many people are just interested in Fibonacci. It's not a whole lot. People who really want to trade this stuff. It's just a small group. It just is by nature. But we don't need that big reach, right? We don't need that big, 10,000 people watching right now. We have big videos that do go out and get seen by, 8,000, 10,000 people. That's fine. That's okay. 5,000 is kind of normal. Between 2 and 3 is also okay. But we don't push people to get involved with Fibonacci. We don't push like a financial advice or something like that. I talked with someone today, a really nice, she was an alpha trader. And I said, the thing is she knows all these brokers. I know brokers too. And I said, we're going to talk, and it was in a session, I said, we're going to talk about what you can go tell those brokers. And not anything bad, but in terms of the knowledge, like understand those brokers, guys, they have a license to do what? And I was offered a position by Morgan Stanley once. I declined it. God, my dog just absolutely just scared me. That was quite a bark. Thank you, Everett. We called him Everett from old brother. We're out there because he just never stops talking. He loves to bark. I hope you guys have dogs too and enjoy your dogs. That was a midnight rush I needed. So in terms of the, what was I talking about? The dog just scared it out of me. Yes, I was talking about Argentina. I have no idea right now. That dog just completely wiped everything away. That's fine. That's okay. Something about Argentina. Talking about the day traders. We're talking about the alpha traders. Yeah. And then we had a dog interruption. Anyway, the dog is taking my 2 cents there. So that's it. That's it for the dog. And I guess we'll just say, we'll just let the dog be the closing argument here. I guess it's a great closing argument because you guys want to know what's going to happen to this. It is falling off a little bit. Now, is that a tragic situation? No, it's not tragic. I will say it's a significant move. Okay, believe it or not, that appears to be a significant move right now. It appears to not be holding that top line of that top line in here. So that is something that has occurred since we have started watching. Technically, that's a move that's important for us. Okay, believe it or not, that little move is important for us. We did draw the triangle earlier on. We were hoping for a break to the upside. It was a very tenuously drawn, guys. It literally, I had drawn it out in like checkered, not checkered, but what do you call that? Just dashed red. Let's see this right here. Like when you see this stuff, you just know that it's like, something's kind of wrong with it. Yeah, when we did that, we drew it like that. We drew it like this. Let's go ahead and make these a little bit more robust. That's about as robust as we're going to get. And then, yeah, we drew it like that in terms of potentially what could be seen at this level, right? And it just kind of, I drew it like that and kind of distributed it through the Twitter, et cetera, because I'm not a big fan of triangulations. When they're a nice continuation pattern and it's real clean and you have some real clean, multiple hits along the way, that's nice. I started off this program with the fact that, essentially, the problem with the triangulation is that we could wait around for it. And what could we ultimately see here is, we could just see a complete, instead of the triangulation, there's no real reason, there's nothing really stopping it from just saying, okay, we want to go ahead and just revisit this level here. Okay, so if that occurs, that wouldn't really surprise me. Nor would it surprise me. Nothing would surprise me with this right now. Doge has been, phenomenal. What is happening is that there's a big drop off in a lot of these coins that have experienced a lot of gains. And I'm pointing over here, and I'm pointing over here. All right, so these have experienced, we're looking at like Fetch is down 6, Ethereum's down 2, everything's off 3, Doge is now down 3. So we're getting a sell-off. XRP's down, VChain, Theta, everything, HBAR, it's just everything's kind of going down right now. So that's okay, but that does look like a drop-off. And what's leading the crew here? A Bitcoin leading the crew? Let's look a little bit, but not a whole lot, huh? Not a whole lot. And what did we bring up? Yeah, we did. We talked about this. You see this move right here? You see that move before you go to the downside? Yeah, so let's replicate that. Let's create some symmetry, okay? Let's get it around here. And let's assume, what if that move is right here? If that move is right here, that's going to be a big move on your alts, guys. Just a small move like that, all the way down. If we go through that, it's just going to feel like a big move. People are going to start getting bearish on the whole situation. So anyway, that feeds into your Dogecoin. It feeds into your Harmony One. Let's take a look at Harmony One and see where you guys are at on that. Now you're still maintaining pretty well. Let's see if you can keep that up, and let's look at the candles. I'd just like to look at the candles to see kind of where you're at. That's okay. You're still not completely back into that complete zone there. Let's see. All right. So I guess that's just kind of the way that things are looking between Doge and et cetera, et cetera. It's interesting. So it's starting to kind of pour down from there. We can look at the, it's starting to kind of just slowly kind of fall down away from that. That's not to say that that's it for it, but in terms of it for it, I mean, we have to look at like kind of the projections. And let's see what anything. She loves learning this. Kim, you love learning this stuff. I'm glad that you love learning this stuff. It's a good thing to learn. Fibs are great, and we do a lot of technical details. So, can you imagine? Huh? Red Raider, what's up with you, brother? It's good to see you. Hey, shout out to Red Raider. He's one of our moderators. Red Raider is one of our guys. We've missed you in the Discord, bro. Big shout out to Red Raider. I didn't even see you in the talk this evening. That's fantastic. You guys pay attention to that guy. He knows how to be a cool guy. He's from Texas. We appreciate that very much. So I'm interested in which of you guys are executing trades, and it's not easy. I mean, we go through the trade execution is just it's kind of like everybody has a different opinion. To tell you the truth, I mean, it's not easy to be really founded or really solidified in kind of the technique that's required and the discipline that's required on a consistent basis to go through and maintain exposure. It's not easy. It requires a lot of discipline, and you have to look at the amount that you have. And a lot of times the amount that you have in your account is not the amount that you want in your account. So you want to build it up to that amount, and you think, well, I'm going to kind of play fast and loose until I build it up to that amount. And the problem with that, when you play fast and loose, guys, the market maker's going to take your money. It's just like it's like taking an extra hit of blackjack just because. I know I'm at 17. I've done well, but come on. I just I got to get out of here. I got to get out of the casino. I'll go ahead and do that. And it's not gambling, but it is kind of that mindset. Now this could do anything, guys. What I would recommend, let's give this some time, and I'll let you guys kind of go. But I want you guys to look at this and just keep an eye on this. We'll go into the Discord and we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, it's been fun to come live to you guys. I wanted to do this because people had questions about Dogecoin, about getting into it, and it looks like we have made the right call on it in terms of what we have essentially put forth. I think people already made money twice at this level, and on this kind of this frequency here, they've made money twice, both on the original part, the original portion, okay, and around the 35% after hitting the golden pocket. Then on the kind of micro fibs as they work this up, and around 20%, okay, 16, 18, 20%, along with the other levels. So they've made some cash on that. If we retest this level, it may get some action. I wouldn't anticipate that 50% or that 2466 getting as much action as if we could get back to if we could get back and double hit the 61.8. I'll just say the only thing is, honestly, is that Harmony One just did that, right? Harmony One just did the double hit, right? Not as significantly on the way up. They just kind of hovered around it. So that would be a pretty phenomenal deal. But Harmony One did go up like 80% after they did that. So that's nice. That'd be kind of more in line. Is it 60%, 80%, depending on whether or not you got the 6.5 and you counted the candles. So yeah, that's more in line with what we would expect out of Doge. Doge has kind of been quiet recently, and it just is uncharacteristic. So it's been fun because it's had great price action. We love price action. So that, you guys, congratulations to anyone who picked up on the fetch deal. That was nice. And yeah, let's see what we have. Now someone's saying that now it's going up now. Well, you guys enjoy that. Let's look at the price action. Let's kick over to the Discord. You guys enjoy yourself. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. And I just wanted to come live and bring you a little bit more information.